Depreciation is minimal compared to currencies of neighboring countries. The peso closed at 56.78 against the greenback on Monday, shedding 46.5 centavos from Friday. This was the peso's weakest close in over 8 months since its 56.94 finish in November. Remolona says the peso weakened due to the Fed's move to hike rates anew. Despite a 0.86% year-to-date decline, Remolona says the local currency is faring better than those of other countries in the region.
Compared to our neighbors, the peso has weakened only slightly. The peso is somewhere in the middle. It's the red bar. That red bar shows that since the beginning of the year, the peso has depreciated by less than 1%. This depreciation is smaller than those of our neighbors. As you can see in the red bars that include the Thai baht, the Malaysian ringgit, the South Korean won, and the Japanese yen.
Despite this assurance from Remolona, one market analyst says further depreciation of the peso could put the Bangko Sentral between a rock and a hard place. Financial market observer Jonathan Ravela says the BSP may have to consider raising rates by 25 basis points on Thursday as a preemptive response to inflation. A rate hike would also keep the 100 basis point differential between the Philippine and U.S. rates. On the back of the weaker peso and the slower than expected second quarter GDP, the Philippine Stock Exchange Index also fell by 76.72 points or around 1.20% to close at 6,329.19 on Monday. Aside from local factors, analysts also noted that Philippine stocks mirrored the drop in Asian markets over concerns about China's property sector. To tell us more about his insights on the peso depreciation, we have with us on the show veteran stock market analyst Jonathan Ravelas. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us on One News Now.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. You said this peso depreciation puts BSP between a rock and hard place. If BSP decides to extend the pause, what's the impact on the currency?
Well, basically, I think the context that we have right now is that the U.S. Fed continues to indicate a sticky condition of inflation, and to be able to really bring down their long-term inflation to their long-term target, there will still be a need to probably continue to raise rates, and they're currently at around 5.5. My projections are looking at closer to 6%. Unlike in the Philippines, yes, we're seeing the trend of inflation coming from over 8% in January. We're now slightly closer to very near our inflation target. No?
Yes.
Most of the expectations is that we'll probably hit the inflation target closer to the end of the year.
Yes.
However, the situation is there's a differential between the Philippine interest rates and the U.S. interest rates at 100 basis points.
Okay.
Pre-pandemic, this was over around 225 basis points. So, keeping the differential, we saw the peso actually moving within a tight range from closer to the 55 to 54 level with the 100 basis points. And right now, we've seen conditions that rising oil prices globally, some countries are eventually restricting export of rice. So if we don't do a 25 basis points, this will haunt us in the coming months. And, you know, the fear that probably inflation would be backed by a vengeance probably by the first half of 2024. So
Yes.
a calibrated preemptive response now by probably doing a 25 basis points today, depending on how the markets will behave in the next coming months, should at least be an insurance that the peso will not be a problem to contribute to the pesos, to inflation, so to speak.
You've mentioned inflation and oil price hikes, and it's been on the headlines left and right lately. What would be then the impact on inflation if it continues to weaken, if the peso continues to weaken?
Then definitely there'll be more demand for dollars, 'di ba? So this is the issue that we want. And if you recall the second half of last year, we saw the peso moving closer to 58, and that
Yes.
actually added to the burden of inflation.
But what can the government therefore do? Intervention or support to support the peso, to strengthen it?
Okay, I think the key word I think is really it's a balancing act. That's why the peso is placed, the BSP is placed between the rock and a hard place, mainly because right now the inflation trend doesn't warrant the BSP to hike rates.
Okay.
I mean, they still have room.
Yes.
But if we were to look at the upside risks to inflation, it might be prudent to probably do the 25 basis points.
Okay. Second quarter GDP, it came in slower than expected at 4.3%. Now, how is this affecting investor sentiment?
Oh, well, I guess one of the things that the second quarter GDP, although my expectation was just 6%, and we really saw a sudden drop, is primarily driven that there was no election spending. So I think that's the main culprit of the GDP numbers.
Okay.
And however, we've actually seen a lot of activities despite all of this, particularly in the accommodation. So domestic tourism actually tried to bring growth in the first half. Now, the question is, most of the expectations for the second half, hopefully to still try to hit the 6%, will probably be driven by the infra spending that has been reiterated by the President in his State of the Nation address.
Okay. And of course, we'd like to know about your growth outlook for the second quarter. Do you think the Philippines can reach the target of 6%? Is it still attainable?
Well, basically, based on the first half numbers and some adjustment of my forecast, originally I was looking at 6%.
Okay.
I'm actually now looking at around 5.3%.
Okay.
And hopefully, this will be the period that will be the turning point. So what is key in the second half is really the execution of the infrastructure programs of government, both on the PPP side and eventually the build more and build.
So the government, you're saying the measures that they can do is, of course, to more government spending in the second half, and also at the same time, we are expecting a rush of money this coming holiday season. Do you think with all these factors in play, there is a slight chance that we may hit 6 to 6.2% at the end of the year?
I think that's probable. I think based on the present environment that we're seeing, you have to understand that if we tend to look at the economy, we're still coming from the pandemic and not necessarily reopening the economy, everything's back to normal.
Yes.
You have to understand that among the 5 players in the economy, the household, the firms, financial institutions, the government, and the rest of the world, you know that the firms, the household, the financial institutions have been affected. So it's only the government that has the capability to restart the economy. So this is eventually the challenge of, of the government. It's really balancing fiscal spending and eventually trying to keep up with its fiscal consolidation. So this is two things that, will eventually be a tug of war on the part of both the BSP and eventually the finance department.
Well, thank you for your insights. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us, veteran stock market analyst Jonathan Ravelas.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Jago Castro. We interrupt regular programming to bring you the latest on the country's FIBA preparations.
I won't say how much we are spending. It's here in the notes, but I won't say. But there's really one Naismith Trophy to really play for. So I think those are just fun facts of the hosting. But for us, I think if you ask me, Paolo, Randy, and Judith, I think we're ready. We're ready to host. We're ready to. In fact, some of the FIBA working staff has started to come in as early as over the weekend. Some of the delegates will start. The current president Hamane is arriving on the 19th. Secretary General Andreas on the 20th. So they'll start coming in because, as you know, before the actual games on August 25, the National Congress is being held here in Sofitel. So we have about 200 plus basketball federations that are coming to the Philippines and having the National Congress that starts on the 22nd up to the 23rd. But we have events on the 21st, a welcome event for the Central Board with some VIPs from government. And then we have the event on the 22nd where the whole Congress will be convening and really it's going to be a sort of a dinner among the entire Congress. And on the 23rd, we also have the Hall of Fame. That's happening for our very own, of course, Kaloy Loizaga will be inducted into the Hall of Fame together with the likes of Yao Ming in that class. So ready to go. Everybody's ready to go. Praying for all the support, especially from media, and making sure we're able to host. I'm hoping the best World Cup ever for FIBA in terms of not only showing the world that we can host a global event like this, but really the hospitality of the Filipino people, the smiles, the generosity of our people. I'm sure they'll feel that. No? So it's not just inside the courts, inside the venues, but outside the venues when they go around and see our country, how beautiful the country can be, and really it's going to be. It's not just SBP doing that. It will be the entire country that will be helping us host this the best way we can.
Thank you very much, Sir Al. I love the words. We're ready. Can't wait. Let's go. And you mentioned fun facts a while ago, and I think that's the perfect segue, Randy and Judith, because after hearing that from Sir ASP, I think now is a perfect opportunity to up our excitement for the FIBA World Cup to maximum levels. Now, to do that, and we implore everyone to watch this Gilas Pilipinas TVC.
Basketball sa mundo. Gilas laban sa lakas. Puso laban sa laki. Ang kaibahan lang, sila ang dadalayo. Hindi lang galing natin ang masusubukan, kung hindi ang tibay ng ating kampihan. Sama-sama tayo. 12 ang lalaro, 100 milyon ang lalaban. Game na kami.
Mundo, manda kayo. Court namin ito.
We are about to have is probably a once-in-a-lifetime event in the Philippines. So if we can, we have to see the games live and in person because nothing beats watching FIBA Basketball World Cup live. Everyone can be part of basketball history by purchasing their single game tickets today for as low as 499 pesos via Ticketnet, online, or SM Tickets.
Yes, bili na. Okay, now we've come to the part that, of course, all our friends from media will get the chance to throw questions at our guests.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we know that this is the reason why you've all come here to grill all of our panelists here in the presidential table. So the floor is now open for our Q&A portion. Judith and Randy are now going to go around the floor to pick out some of our media friends here for the questions, but to get the ball rolling here, I'm going to start it off here with a question to Sir Al, because Sir Al, you mentioned a while ago that we're ready to go, but in terms of percentage of how ready we actually are in terms of preparations of the SBP, just at what percentage are we in terms of the hosting for the FIBA Basketball World Cup?
I think aside from just the courts being completed, no, I think the venues will be exciting. I mean, in terms of how it looks, and it will be very different from how you've seen basketball in the Philippines. So aside from that, the court being completed hopefully by the next few days, no, we're really ready in terms of the hotels, in terms of the transportation requirements, in terms of the flight bookings of everybody. We're really ready. The vehicles, as I said, talagang handa na kami. No? In fact, we're also preparing for the 25th. We're actually hiring 400 buses to bring the fans to Philippine Arena, make it easy and make it convenient for our fans to watch and support the first Gilas game on August 25. So we're ready, very ready, and completion na lang ng venues, but all the materials are here. They're just constructing the tribunes, all the sites in the venue, and then the last thing they will put will be the floor, and that should be completed towards the latter part of the week.
Thank you, Sir Al. Judith, Randy, do we have
Yes.
a question?
Okay, so we have our President Nelson Beltran, Philippine Star, for the first two questions.
First, President Al, thank you for hosting this special PSA forum.
Thank you.
Maganda yung venue namin sa Philippine Sports Commission Conference Hall, pero you gave us a new scenery here. Thank you. And for my question, you have declared the readiness of the SBP and the country for this hosting chores. And it's time to chase the goals. Isa sa ilang beses ang nasabi na goal natin is to break gate attendance. Dun sa first day, pwedeng habulin yung single game high. Ano po? Huli na ba natin sa oras na ito? Abot naman ng ticket sales?
I'll also ask Erica to chime in, but yes, I think we're really confident that we will surpass that. In fact, ang gusto ko makita nga, if we can reach the 50,000 mark, hindi ko lang alam kung papayag si Com Willie na mas malaki yung aming attendance kaysa sa PBA, but Com Willie, thanks for all the support. But I think we want to achieve the 50,000 mark at least, no? And we are, as I said, we've hired 400 buses to help our fans to go to the games to make it more convenient. With your support, everybody in this room and your friends, your family, if you can really be with us on that day, that will be really significant. The entire FIBA Central Board is going to watch. In fact, some of the attendees of the Congress will also watch. When Dirk Nowitzki was here the last time, as you know, during the draw, he said that he will not miss it. He will not miss it. He will be here on the 25th. Since he's also attending the board, he will not miss that event. So everybody's looking forward to it, even FIBA. And that's the reason why we still decided to keep a game in Philippine Arena, right? Because that's the objective, and we'd like to put the Philippines also on the map in terms of FIBA attendance. And I think if we can reach 50, mahirap ng, I'm not saying hindi surpass, but I think it'll be very difficult to do so, no? But again, targets, goals, and records are always meant to be broken, but I think we're hoping that we can really reach that our aspirational numbers beyond 50.
And of course, the bigger goal is for Gilas to be the best Asian team and make the Paris Games. Siyempre, makikita natin yon doon sa game na. Pero, President Al, what is your gut feel?
Talagang grill, no? Grill, sabi niya, grill. Thank you, President Nelson. I think, first of all, I think, as you know, we haven't hosted a World Cup like this since 1978, so it's 45 years. It's even been much longer since we were in the Olympics the last time for basketball. So 1972. Naalala ko pa nga yung poster ni Jaworski ata o ni Fernandez sa kwarto ko, yung naka-blue uniform sila. No? So it's been a while, and I think the aspiration for us is we want to be the best Asian ranking team, obviously. I was in practice the other night, starting to, everybody was there. I'm glad to see that. Even Scotty was there, so that was a positive news, at least for the team. I think the difficulty for the coaches now is deciding the final 12, because I have to say thank you to everybody in the pool who have sacrificed for Gilas, not being guaranteed a spot. No, also Justin Brownlee. Also, thank you very much for what he has done and to just contribute to this journey of Gilas. No, talagang gusto namin talagang to perform our very best. My gut feel, I think we've kakayanin. Hope we can win these 2 games sana. Para we have not, our best World Cup is we won 1 game in 2014 against Senegal. Unfortunately, we didn't win anything in Beijing. So I'm hoping we can win 2 games, and if we can do that, we go to the next round and potentially really play for the spot for the Olympics. I told it to the team the other night when I was there that it's also the prize also is a spot in the Olympics, which again we have not been there since 1972 from a basketball point of view. So I think alam ng team na yun ang gusto nilang mangyari, and if we can achieve that, that will be great for the country and for basketball.
Thank you, Sir Al. Our basketball-loving Filipinos will surely break that record. So for the next questions, dear friends and colleagues, you are invited in front. Please limit your questions to 2 most important, of course, sensible questions, and I think 1 follow-up. No? So please state your name and your organization.
Okay, Bong Pedralbas of Malaya Business Insight. I think we first broke your aspirations that we become the best Asian team to place and earn a slot for the Olympic Games about 2-3 weeks, a month ago during a separate press for. But sir, when do you think, more on the basketball team right now, when do you think will be the last day when we will know the final 12 of our Gilas Filipinas squad? Have we set any particular date? Because it's 10 days from now, of course, and some people don't like to be kept in suspense.
Thanks for that question. Well, some people want to be in suspense. I think the deadline from a FIBA point of view, I mean, we have the pool, no? Alam naman ng FIBA yung pool.
Yes.
But the deadline date for us to submit it is August 23. When
2 days
they have
before opening.
2 days before the game. That's when the team managers and the technical teams meet up and declare the final lineups. I know other countries have done so, but I think it's very hard for the coaches to really make the decision. I think these next 3 games that the friendlies that we're playing, 18, I think we're playing Ivory Coast, 20 we're playing Montenegro, and 21st we're playing Mexico. I think that will
Always a closed door, Sir Al.
Sorry?
Closed door? This will be closed door.
It's closed door, because we also have to ask permission from the teams we're playing with, no? And I think unfortunately it's closed door. But I think based on those games, I think it will really solidify in the coaches' minds the final 12.
Okay. Ma'am Erica, a question regarding the organization, operations. We were asked, Sir Al was asked earlier, what is the percentage of the readiness of the local organizing committee to host? So is it 99.9%, 95%? Your own observation of being on top of practically everything.
Okay, percentage-wise, I would say we're at 95%. So we're almost there, but it should be noted that that last 5% is similar to the last 2 minutes of a basketball game. Meaning, even if it's just 5% of the 40-minute game, it's the most important 2 minutes, right? So I think that's what we have to keep in mind. We're almost in plug-and-play mode. As I said earlier, we've entered the venues already, so we have it under our care at this point, and we're setting it up to meet the standards that FIBA is expecting of us. So that's where we are right now.
What is the remaining 5%? Is it the same as what Sir Al said earlier about putting in the courts, etc.?
Correct. It's really setting it up already. So we have all the materials. Most of them were prefabricated. So it's a matter of installing these items on the court. And obviously we have a 10-day period to do that because we can't do that all at the same time. One has to come after the other. There's an order to follow. So that's what we're doing at this point.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, just to add to that, I think it's parang project management ng construction. It's really well planned out naman
May
no, across the
timetable.
3 venues. And it's a new floor, new backboards, and I think and then Araneta's a new scoreboard. So it's really going to be a different setup for the venues, the 3 venues.
Even the competition lights we had to bring in.
Oh, okay. Just one question, ma'am. Relative to our goal of achieving a record-breaking attendance on August 25, what is your feeling, ma'am? The magic number, I think, is 32,226. That was a Dream Team 2 game several years ago. Palagay niyo po ba we were, and the capacity of the Philippine Sports Arena is about, as Sir Al said, it's 55,000. Do you think we can surpass that?
Yeah, I do believe that we will surpass it. The number is actually 32,616.
Yes.
And we should note, however, that even if the capacity of the arena is 55,000, with the setup, the unique setup that is required of us, the seats are down to 46,000.
Okay.
That being said, however, when we do record the number of spectators in a game, we do count everybody who's accredited. So
Every warm body.
every warm body inside the stadium is going to be counted. So that includes the press, the media, all other officers, the working group. That's all going to be counted. And as noted earlier, volunteers alone count up to 700 already. So I think we are really primed to beat that record. In terms of ticket sales, we are at about 28,000 right now.
Wow.
So very close to the goal, but not yet there. We have 10 more days to sell, and we should also note that it was just last weekend that we opened our outlets for box office selling. Everything before that was sold online. So there's still a good 10 days for us. And I guess this is my plug now, to invite everyone to be part of this historic feat that we're about to achieve.
Follow, since this is a forum and it's live, you might as well say, Ma'am, say where the actual virtual outlets are, and then we'll give way to our other colleagues as well.
Thank you. So maybe John can help me with this, but it's available at TicketNet online and as well as all TicketNet outlets. No?
Yes, actually, all tickets are available through smtickets.com and ticketnet.com.ph, and go to the outlets. Again, there are more than 300 outlets for SM Tickets, and then a lot of also outlets for TicketNet. So again, please support the first game of Gilas.
Just to clarify also, John mentioned SM Tickets. For the games at the Mall of Asia Arena, that's what you can purchase at SM Tickets, while the games at the Araneta and the Philippine Arena can be purchased through TicketNet, just to make that clear.
But if I may add to that, no, of course, Gilas we have to support. But there are other games that are being played here, which are World Cup quality teams are here, right? So on that day itself, although we're all, I think, going to convene in Philippine Arena, there are 2 games happening also in MOA, the other bracket, no, where the U.S. is also, no. So there'll be 2 games played there. So we're hoping that, fans who cannot go to Arena, hope we can really hit the 50,000 there. But there's also an opportunity for everyone to watch a World Cup game in MOA at the same time. And I think also for us, I think it's really supporting all the teams. No, in fact, from an MVP group point of view, all our HR heads came together, and we've asked all the company CEOs to support the games by, being assigned to a certain day. So we're calling it an MVP Group Family Day, right? So we will allow some of the employees to bring their families to watch certain games. We're also looking at, I think Erica is talking to some of the leagues like the UAP. We do want to bring kids and players and other I guess the youth to watch the games, and I think this will be again inspiring for the youth, similar to what I think we've seen in Filipinas, no, the pull that they got, the aspirational inspirational aspect of it, where I think the young women or even the young boys who are playing soccer now is aspiring to be in the World Cup too. Same with basketball, I think. We want to share this with the youth. We want them to experience a World Cup game here in the Philippines.
Thank you very much, Sir Al. Judith?
Yes, next questions from Miss Diane Castillejo.
Morning. Congratulations to all for all the hard work you're putting. Thank you so much. Al, I'm going to grill you more.
Thank you.
So,
Go ahead.
So it's great to hear that Scotty's like back playing, that he's okay. Can we know the latest on Kai Soto? We also hear that he's been playing already like full contact basketball. So how is he, and what's the situation? Is there still a situation with his medical issues, or is he all good to go na po?
Thanks, Diane. Should I answer that? No, I think, yes, I was there the other night, as I said. Everybody was there. Kai was there, Scotty was there, JC was there. So the whole 16, I think 16 players were all there. So and I think I think Scotty is fit. I guess it's just a matter of getting back to the groove of basketball, playing basketball. But he did play that night. Kai also played, and just to really share. Our doctors spoke yesterday, the doctors of Kai and the SPP doctors, and he's been cleared to play. He's been cleared to play. So that's good news, right? So he's been cleared to play, and again, we're looking forward that we see him play also during the friendlies, so that to get ready for for everybody to get ready for the game start on the 25th.
That's great. That's good news. Sir, can you also tell us a little bit about Jordan Clarkson? We hear that he's really, of course, such a team player, getting along with everyone, and such a regular guy, sabi nga ni Coach Jot. Can you tell us about him and how he's been going in the practices?
Yeah, he's just been one of the guys actually in practice. In fact, hindi yung sa kanya lang lahat ng bola, tira ng tira. Hindi, no, I think he was working through the system. He was understanding also what from an offensive defensive point of view what Coach Chot and Tim and Jong Yuchiko wanted him, the team to do. So he was one of the guys. He was although I saw one, but they said in previous practices iba yung NBA player. May mga certain they see certain things in the court and they do a certain pass or na parang paano nyo nakita yon, right? And I saw one of that last Sunday, and I think that's how you are if you're an NBA player. I think you see the floor differently and you see the opportunities. So definitely he will elevate our team. He will be a great contribution, obviously, and aside from that, really is an attraction to the games. As Jan said, even FIBA wanted him to do that marketing material that promoted the games. No?
Yeah, thanks, Al. That was really a nice ad. I really enjoyed it. Congratulations, John. I wanted to ask about some of the pre-game activities, maybe the opening ceremony, the show. Is there anything for the fans who are going to be heading to the Philippine Arena? Is there going to be a show, or what time should they actually go there? And can I also clarify about the buses, if it hasn't yet been mentioned, the pickup points?
I'll leave it to Erica, but just to say that there'll be two games then, no?
Yeah.
You have the 4 o'clock game, Italy versus Angola.
Yeah.
And the opening program show starts about 6 o'clock, 6:15. And the actual Gilas and Dominican Republic game starts at 8 p.m. So I'll ask Erica to explain the whole program. At the same time, we do have a partner for that game. They come out with their ads, Jollibee. So Jollibee is partnering with us, and I think everybody who watches the games will get a free hamburger.
Wow.
Not on the venue, but
Not in the venue.
but you will just show your ticket and go to any Jollibee, and you'll get a free burger.
Every person who watches the game, who buys the ticket,
On the 25th, Philippine Arena game.
will get a stub and be able to get a free burger at Jollibee.
Yeah. So let's wait for them to launch it. But
Great. Miss Erica?
Yeah, so we have a number of entertainers no, who are lined up for our opening ceremonies. I think we have Ben and Ben, Sarah Geronimo, and The Don are all part of the opening ceremonies. And aside from that, we do have a number of activations on site that the fans can enjoy in the concourse area. The gates will actually open at 12 noon for the 4 p.m. game. And the concourse area will be filled with activities. So we really invite the fans to come early. Speaking of the P2P points for the 400 buses, we have identified 12 areas, 12 pickup points. And that would be Cloverleaf, Ayala Mall, One Ayala, Trinoma, PITX, Mall of Asia, Araneta City, SM Clark, BGC, Market, SM North EDSA, SM Mega Mall, SM Baliwag, and SM Pampanga. And I think the most important thing that I would like to note at this point is the ticket buyers for this day will get to enjoy 2 games plus the opening ceremony show. It is unlike the rest of the games where it's 1 ticket to 1 game.
So that's good. Do you want to?
yeah, I just wanted to add, very important is really we're fortunate and we're very grateful that the president will actually be there to do the ceremonial toss for the Gilas game. I do have a picture. I showed it to the president when I was there one time of his father, former President Marcos, doing the ceremonial toss in 1978 in Araneta. So again, it comes full circle that BBM now will be also be there to join us, and we'd like to thank him for accepting that invitation.
Super. Sounds exciting. Thank you, Judith.
Thank you, Sir Randy.
All right, for our next questions, gusto kayong makita yung mga kapugian, kagandahan ng PSA members, please take the mic in front. Introduce yourself and your organization.
Good morning po. I'm Avan Swing from the Daily Tribune. Sir Al, I'd like to ask, 2013 was the FIBA Championships, and yun po was fondly remembered by the Filipinos as the time that not only the curse of Korea was broken, but nakuha po natin yung first FIBA slot, World Cup slot natin in how many years? Are you also optimistic that this hosting will at the very least replicate that same magic back in 2013?
Yeah, thanks for the question. My aspiration is not only replicate, but if we can do better, right? Especially our team is playing in our home court, with the support of the fans. I think if you recall, we were in Seville in 2014, and we were acknowledged as the most valuable fans during the games. And this was in Spain, diba? So people from all over Europe, Filipinos from all over Europe, supported it. But it's not the number that I expect that I see here when we play here. I think there will be much more support from the fans here. I think that will help the team, that will ignite the team, that will inspire the team. So, I'm hoping we will perform much better than what we did in Seville. That's my wish.
Sir, follow-up na lang rin po. You mentioned earlier yung FIBA Council that will be held days before yung actual competitions. Any chance that ang pag-uusapan rin po dito is yung eligibility rules given Clarkson's position and yung what happened recently sa SEA Games?
It's the National Congress. It's called the FIBA National Congress. It's really electing the next board for FIBA that starts this year and the next 4 year. It's a 4-year term. it's actually the turn of Asia to become president of FIBA. But it's really more the Congress is more going to discuss the strategic plans of FIBA moving forward. So I'm not sure whether the eligibility rules will be discussed at that time, but definitely I think for these games, the Jordan status will remain the same. But we're working around that, and I think the Congress is really more like a strategic body that will now bring FIBA forward the next 4 years. The concrete plans, the strategies, the calendar for the next 4 years. I think those are the things that we discussed in that Congress, and many more. It's almost 2 days of meetings. There's a plenary on the first day, but there will be also breakout sessions on the second day.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Sir Al.
Okay, we're doing this fast-paced one, no? So, one question na lang, no?
Yes.
Limited na tayo to one question. And siguro kami na pupunta. Dito na lang. Oh, sige. James, isa lang, ha? Isa na lang.
James, isa lang.
Good morning.
Isa lang.
Good morning, Mr. Anpalio. This is directed to you. Well,
Yes, sir.
the Philippines competed 6 times in FIBA World Cup, and this is the 7th time under your administration as SVP. Now, I understand...
I didn't know that.
Yes. I understand the Philippines, the Gilas Philippines prepared long enough to polish and refine their scale to perfection. Now, what can you expect to the Philippines? Can they figure prominently in survive, overcome, and tremendous pressure, and at the end of the day, emerge victorious?
Sorry, pakiulit na. Hindi ko nakuha lahat eh.
Can the Philippines survive and overcome tremendous pressure, and at the end of the day, emerge victorious? Well, I repeat it. Gilas Pilipinas prepared long enough to polish and refine their skills to perfection. Now, the question is, can Gilas Pilipinas survive and overcome tremendous pressure, and at the end of the day, emerge victorious?
Well, first of all, I think I'd like to thank the PBA again, right? For they made a sacrifice to release the players to the pool as early as May. But you know what happened from May, right? There are injuries that happened and so on and so forth. But I think if you watch the games in China, I saw a different team competing there, especially on the defensive end, right? I think we were, again, I'm not a coach, but I saw that the defense was much better, right? It's also the experience, I think, of playing against an African team, a Latin American team. So that's important. And that has always been the plan of the coaches, to experience that level of competition. Yung bungguan, iba eh. In fact, when I saw practice the other day, they were grabbing Jordan. Grab dito, ganyan. Ganun ang FIBA eh. Sa PBA, maybe NBA, foul yun. But in FIBA, it's not. So, but he was not complaining. I think it's that kind of experience that's needed for us. No? Now that I think we have a pool of 16, final 16, and we have to have a difficult decision.
Catch more updates on preparations for the upcoming FIBA World Cup only here on One News. And those are the top business stories of the hour. Join us again at 2 p.m. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. The FIBA World Cup starts August 24. Support Gilas, support Team Pilipinas, watch, buy tickets, the biggest sports event of the year.